Hello.
Hi, this is Renee and Kent Miller, and we are here for another lesson from the Augmentation of Man, a Study in Renaissance.
And we're going to begin with chapter 5, pages 121, 122 of the book. And then we'll follow up with any blogging that helps you understand it. But let's start out with a hostile environment between truth and perception.
So in our society today, everybody thinks they've got the truth, and in reality, very few do. And it is creating a hostile environment between us. But there's also a hostile environment between what the truth really is and what we think it is.
Yeah, because it leads us to truth between our past and the future events that we may end up being involved in. So we have to look at real close what truth is and why we are learning from it. So
and we have to keep an open mind and use deciphering to balance.
So every opportunity we have to learn truth is an opportunity to grow.
So that's what life is all about. That correlates with the universal expanding consciousness. This is a life, this where we're at is an experiential field.
To grow in understanding.
It's all through our experiences that we grow through our inner reflection and reflection on past events, where we can look at it from different angles with an open mind, and then we come to greater levels of understanding.
Yeah.
And this can be our cause for being here in our search for a more exact truth.
Yeah, so we don't want to fall into a pit of listening to what others and what they think we should be listening to, or what path we should be taking. And we have to learn this on our own to obtain the attainment that we need to find ourselves. Okay, and this creates a chain of events, not one event, but it's a chain of events to move us along forward in this society.
So everything, our learning is in sequential steps. And so each event opens up into eventually a new event. And so that's the progression that our learning takes. We have to keep in mind that our perceptions are continually entangled in what we're perceiving as truth. And so we have to keep reminding ourselves, is this perception or is it a
mistruth?
Yeah, is it a
misperception?
Is it something that people have published and put out there and people are taking it as truth? Because there's a lot of that too. Just because it's in written form doesn't mean it's 100% truth. So we always have to use our deciphering.
So truth can be kind of somewhat lonely. If you're looking for learning, especially, you constantly look and you can become frustrated and you're trying to find truth and you really don't know truth. Truth is a floating word, basically, because once you have the truth today and you find out more information about the event tomorrow, then tomorrow is the truth. So truth is not set in stone. It's a fluctuating evolvement of an event.
And so to find truth can become a narcotics, meaning that it becomes addictive. Once we get on the path of being the truth seeker, then it can be an addictive thing. We step back and we're the observer. And we're looking at it from a point of view that we're in a classroom and we're observing the play that's going on and we're learning from that.
Yeah. So we can be on the correct path or we cannot be on the correct path. And you won't find out if you're not on the right path until a little ways along. And then you'll begin to realize under discernment, whoa, this is not where I'm supposed to be. And you have to correct yourself. There's no big thing. There's no such thing as time, so time isn't lost, even though you might think you've lost time.
And really, that's what the universe is constantly doing is helping us to correct our perceptions and our superficial understanding. So the deliverance of new energetic pathways that take us down to new events for contemplation, and also the guidance that we receive from within that helps to shed light on what the truth really is, that corrects our misperception.
And as you find more and more about yourself in the event of truth, you begin to have more self-worth.
Mm-hmm.
You think of yourself more worthy than you've ever thought of yourself being worth. If you can figure that what I just said.
So in the universe, our self-worth is dictated by our ability to become one with all that is in the sharing of greater levels of understanding and wisdom.
Because everything's mathematically correct in the universe. Everything is based, all vibrations of any kind, whether it be truth or whatever, is a mathematical formula in the universe.
So our thoughts have a mathematical equation, and that also equates with a particular vibration. And so when our perceptions are off and it's not aligned to truth, then it's going to be out of whack vibrationally, but it's also going to be imbalanced mathematically. And so if you take a vibrational wavelength and you plot it out on graphing paper, and you can take the high points and the low points where your median line is, then you can assign it coordinates, and those coordinates can be put into a mathematical equation. So that's how it relates.
What you're looking for is stability.
So we want stability in our understanding, which means that we're trying to get to deeper and deeper levels of truth that equates to a more consistent waveform or vibration and a stable mathematical or balanced mathematical equation that goes with it.
And what you're doing when you create stability, you're projecting the vibration of yourself outward, like throwing a rock in a pond or a lake, and the ripples go out. And all those ripples have meaning. They have vibrational formulas attached to them, which is your vibration. So it interacts with other things quite a bit, yeah.
Yeah, so those vibrations go out and they interact with all living matter, and it has the ability to change it. Yeah. So do we want to change it in a negative way, or do we want to support a more stable creation?
That's right. So you can either have truth or non-truth. The vibrations are going to go out either way, and you're going to influence the things around you. So why not influence the things around you with truth?
And
at the time that you know it.
Right now, we have so many misperceptions in our world, and that is in a lot of different areas. So politically, within ourselves, spiritually, it just goes on and on.
The false searches that people get involved in from the misperceptions. They get involved in false needs, false searches.
And right now, while we are changing cycles, so we're leaving the cycle of perception behind, and we are entering into a new cycle of conceptual learning, it is the time for correction to a more profound understanding of what the truth is.
Yeah, does it make sense what you hear?
Right.
You know, you can pursue a lot of lower levels of understanding that doesn't have vibration, and it's going to take you down that path of
false searches,
yeah. So you have to ask yourself, does this make sense when you hear it, when you learn it, and stand back from the crowd or from the drama and ask yourself, does this make sense?
And observe yourself for redundant behavior. So what are we doing that is not producing a profound and new understanding that also correlates with other understanding? Meaning, does this spiritual understanding correlate and support a scientific understanding? How can we get all of these things, astronomy, mathematics, science, spirituality. How can we get them to all correlate in one seamless line?
Yeah, self-realization becomes very long, and it can be a lot of work
if we're not on the right path. Mm-hmm. And so when we start to look at our behaviors and are we following people or promotion of ideas that only make us feel good and give us a charge with an adrenaline rush, mm-hmm. or is it giving us the true understanding, a deep understanding? And so when we start to analyze these behaviors, we can see how we tend to keep going back to doing the same thing, but it's not producing the right results.
Yeah, others can't help you find self-realization. So, people cannot even help you get self-motivation. That's why they call it self-motivation. So these things you have to do on your own.
It is a lonely journey because it's all done within the mind's realm, and we're trying to go within and also feel for the answers, but we're listening to inner guidance and we're contemplating and reflecting. Does this make sense? Why has this happened? What purpose does it serve? Where is it trying to push us as a society? Those sort of questions will lead you to the answers that you're looking for.
So it's your journey, and it creates your own self-worth. And so you have to start with a clean slate, as clean as you can. You're not going to be able to get rid of everything. Sometimes it takes a couple of years to find out what happened to you at 10 years old or 8 years old or 15. And you can't let it influence your life now because it no longer has any value in what you do today. You can give it value. You can be a victim all your life, or you can get out of that realm and begin your own journey to self-truth.
So just take the lesson, take what you learned out of it, and leave the emotional aspect behind so that it no longer holds you hostage to your emotions and victimization and allows you to move forward and grow in your level of understanding.
And what does a child do? What is a child? Child is curious. Child wants to get into everything, as we well know, the 2-year-old, 3-year-old, 4-year-old. They want to know. They ask questions. Why this? Why that? Be like a child. Ask the questions. Explore.
And then learn to connect the dots. Mm-hmm. Does it all support each other? Does it make sense?
And once you learn to connect the dots, it creates balance. It gives you guidance on what your path is going forward is going to have to be.
And then what you are hearing within, you need to add a good dose of deciphering to make sure you're balancing it and it's not that you're being poorly guided.
Remember, we are all in a big puzzle. And we all hold a part of this puzzle. We all hold our own chip. And we got to see where this chip that you hold fits into the universal puzzle or just the earthly plane puzzle. What value? Everyone has a value here, but you have to look for it. It's not just that it doesn't sit on the table in front of you and then you got to contemplate it. You have to look for it. Once you find it, it really gives you an aha moment. Mm-hmm.